So here we are again, my queen. I want to just introduce myself. I'm Theron King T. Washington, aka King Chocolate from Los Angeles.
And I am Anne Naylor, and I'm also known as Queen Vanilla of the French Riviera.
Ooh, the way that sounds is like a dessert you just have to pick up and eat like right away. I'm like, oh, get that.
Oh, it's so sweet. And what we're doing is combining hope and humor and a little sweetness in life.
Mm.
That's what we're doing, Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're here to share, our views from different worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're starting off with a theme. We have to dream big. I made a note of it, so I remember. We've got to dream big for great things to happen in our lives. And I really like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I wrote a book with the subtitle was Possible Dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, sometimes our big dreams don't seem possible to start off with, but if the dream is in our heart, hey, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to write one to counter that says impossible dream.
Okay, just go for it. I don't mind. We can have the chocolate and the vanilla of it.
You're right.
So I want to come back then to the topic that came up in our last conversation about marriage. Yeah. So what would it be for you to dream big or in your marriage for great things to happen? So what would be your dream for your marriage, for great things to happen? How would that be for you?
So what would that look like for me, dreaming big? Mm-hmm. Ooh, anytime I think about people coming together, I always think about communication. Like having this open door of communication that will allow, me and my wife to feel free, to feel safe and secure, that we'll be loved and respected no matter what we say and how we feel. Mm-hmm. So that's huge for me.
It's wonderful. So what steps you need to take, or would you like to take, or could you take to start to bring that dream about, given that things move forward best with micro steps? So what would be a micro step that you could take to start the fulfillment of that amazing dream for communication, like you described it? Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Well, what it comes to mind first is, like, what do I want? Like, what do I want, and what am I willing to deal with? Because of course we're gonna, I don't know how that sounds, dealing with, but when you're dealing with another person, it's you have to just be at a place where you like accepting them for who they are and what comes from them to you. Mm-hmm. Are you in a place, are you willing to, am I willing to accept my wife for who she are, accept her for her mistakes, for her shortcomings, accept her for not agreeing with me, accept her for speaking her mind, accept her for being able to turn her back and walk away if she's fed up. So it's so much where I'm getting my mind prepared to accept that other person for who they are, mm-hmm. how they react and respond, how they are going to treat me. I mean, it's like, hey, we're not perfect, right? So if I have in my mind, my wife is supposed to treat me a certain way, I'm fooling myself. So for me, it begins with, what am I willing to accept from the other person in the relationship and in building a relationship?
There could be a step before that.
Well, for me, the way I see it, now you may come up with the step before that. With me, it starts with the frame of mind.
Okay.
So what would you?
Okay, the step before that, and it has to do with the frame of mind exactly. But all the things that you've listed to accept in your wife, they be mirrors to some things you've yet to accept in yourself. Because the relationship with your loved one starts with the loving relationship you have with yourself. Mm. So when you come to love, not just accept, but love you for all those things, you've had a checkered life, and I've only heard a bit of it. So I think there are more stories I've yet to hear about, but so
I will write the book, and so I will write the book.
good. I shall.
Many people keep asking me to write the book.
Okay, good. Well, I shall look forward to reading it. And in the meantime, there may be some things, and you mentioned, we were talking before, some things that you came to accept, maybe even forgive or release in your past that were painful and upsetting for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the irritations we experience in our loved one often reflect back to us something in ourselves that we have yet to fully love and accept. And they're just a mirror. So the work starts within oneself. What is it I need to love and accept in myself that I haven't yet done? And if you sit with that thought, as you know, you sit with thoughts and things come to mind. And you already have one big one from your time in the military. But it's actually loving yourself through that and really appreciating, because in the story you told, and we haven't told this to people yet, so they're just gonna have to guess. But with the story you told, you weren't given care and guidance, and not even discipline. There was disinterest that you received, which is sort of worse than damning, really. And that's profoundly hurtful to have gone through that. And in a way, something inside of you holds that hurt, because you're a young person in your late teens, and you receive this level of disinterest from someone who could have respected you, but that's not what you experienced. That hurt takes a while to heal.
Well, it was my ideal of respect. Like going into the military was an ideal of, man, this is a place where I can find a newfound freedom to get free from the environment that I was raised in to now something that's really going to be, extravagant for me in the way I want to be.
Well, you had expectations.
Yeah.
And when we have expectations and we don't get what we're expecting, we get disappointed. And that can happen in a marriage too. You have an expectation that the marriage is going to deliver something to you that it doesn't. Then you feel hurt, or one does. I mean, it's just like, there's a feeling of hurt and disappointment. And that needs to be healed to start off with within yourself. When you've healed it in yourself, you probably find the other person doesn't irritate you. It's like when you do the healing inside yourself, what the other person does doesn't bother you anymore, because the bother was always in you for very good reasons, because you had a lot of hurt growing up. And that hurt invites healing, and it invites your compassion for yourself. It invites compassionate self-forgiveness, because you may have held judgments. Why was I treated like that? Why didn't I get what I would consider to be respect? In fact, it seemed like not only did you not get respect, that you were actually given disrespect, as I hear it. And I don't think you were embellishing a story, you're just telling me what had happened. So that's a huge amount to do healing in yourself. And that hurt that hasn't been healed will show up in your closest relationship. That's the purpose of it. We get married to children, we get married to have a family, to have a house together. But there's another level that the marriage invites, put it that way. And that's where the upward spiral can begin, because when you can heal yourself inwardly, you build that strength, the love you give to yourself for that healing, you gain the love, which then can flow out into your closest relationship, into your colleagues, into every environment. But that's the power that we have, because we have the power to love within ourselves. We have that heart. And particularly as we mature, so as a kid, you don't know. It's a world that's sort of foreign. You're trying to make your way, and you did what you could do to make your way, and then it didn't turn out that right. So it's a time for really a lot of compassion for yourself, a lot of tenderness, because it's like, that kid at 19 was trying to get his way out of a not good situation. Kind of need someone to give him a hug and say, hey, I love and respect you. How can I assist you? And maybe the military wasn't a place to do that, but you weren't. No, you made the effort to effect a change in your life, and it didn't happen. So now you have the opportunity as a mature adult, as you begin to look back and say, hey, that was not good behavior towards me. And you have the opportunity to heal that. So that's what I'm saying. That's the step before you have the expectation with your wife. Because the more you love yourself, the more you'll draw love to you from anyone, and respect. Because as a young person growing up, you didn't have a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
But we can, with the wisdom, and you have a very inquiring mind, you're keen to discover about things and to learn about things and learn how you can help other people. You may meet other people who've had your, as it were, disadvantages, and you can pass that same message from your experience onto them, how you healed yourself from those, I would say, misadventures even. And they're all part of the learning path through life. We all have different experiences, one or another, which weren't comfortable or were disappointing or disrespectful, or you name it. Most people have gone through something or other. Maybe it's true for your wife too, but I'm not talking with her at the moment. But you can change your inner environment. The outer gets changed through the inner. So if I was to say you dream big for yourself, within yourself, how would that be for you? Great. Happen. How would you be dreaming big? Bring us up. You're in the relationship, that's a given, but in yourself, what would be your big dream for in yourself to rise into your magnificence, your majesty? Let us not forget that you are king, you are majesty, your highness.
Yes. I take that proudly too, your queen.
Absolutely. It takes a queen to recognize a king. So speak to your highness. Tell me about the magnificence that is who you are truly, and what is it that you have yet to really accept and love in yourself?
What is it that I have yet to accept and love in myself? What is it yet? That question, and there may be something yet, but my belief is that I do already. I mean, I'm there. I accept myself for who I am and where I've come from.
I get that.
Like my thinking is, if I didn't accept myself, I'd be putting on airs. That's just my thinking. And the things that I do in my life, my day to day, month after month, year after year, what I love about myself and what I do is I'm on a path that I remember at one point I've always wanted to be on this path, the path of learning and developing. And I remember there was a time when I thought that I couldn't get past like a certain level, like I was stuck. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm going to be. I won't grow in any way, and then will come a time I'll just deteriorate as I get older, and that'll be it. Like I'm going to be like anybody else who I've seen, who I've come in contact with. Like I have a lot of different family members. I've never had family and friends who I've seen on this continual journey of growing and developing. I've seen them all like get to a certain point and they just stop until it's time to just go down with it. So I've never been around anyone who I've seen, especially after their maybe 40s or 50s, where I've seen them continue to become more. What I see myself as, I see myself being on that path of becoming more of what I used to think about in the past. Like, man, I wish I was intelligent enough. I never saw myself as really being too intelligent. I've seen my sister being someone who was very intelligent because she was someone with straight A's. Even when she went to college, straight A's. I saw her just at one point I was having a conversation with her, and I asked her, I said, "Are you reading from the dictionary?" Because it sounded like she was reading from the dictionary, but she was just, things that she knew. She would speak them in a way of defining them. It was like, whoa. So I saw myself in comparison to her, like, I'm not intelligent.
Well, yeah, and that's really interesting because that speaks to how you had regarded your sense of esteem or value, because we all have different values. I couldn't read a dictionary. I mean, I was not an academic. I have a different intelligence. Some of us have very different intelligences, and they're valuable. But if you were to compare yourself with a family member, for example, because it's the nearest people to compare yourself with, then you could sort of really come up short. My brother and sister are academic. They've got settled careers, and they're very settled in their lives. Oh, they're still adventurous. They're not boring, but they have a very different life path than I have. I mean, I'm an outsider. I don't conform very easily to the way everyone else does things. And I study to see what people are doing who live long. How are they living? How do they do that? And that's worth Googling, because when you see how people are developing, then you think, oh yeah, I could do a bit of that too. So I understand the interest, the appetite to Google and hear what Black folk have had to deal with in history, and it's not inconsiderable. But whatever happened, that's past. You can't change it. But what you can be doing now is focusing forward. And you're entitled as anyone to have a rich and rewarding relationship in your marriage. And as you focus on the dream big in your marriage, because I know you've come a very good way in terms of your career and what you're doing. But the marriage relationship, they say people remember how you made them feel, not whether you created $1 billion and had a successful business and so on. It's that level of feeling and touching too. And I'm just thinking about the mirror that you are to me, in a sense. I learned from my own experience, I learned to, in a certain way, shut down my heart and make success in the world more important than closeness with another person. And I protected myself because it was too risky and too dangerous. And I could be totally wrong, but my sense is that some part of you, your heart, in some way, is still a little protective. And I don't know if that's accurate, but that's okay. It's just my sense of things, because you've got a big heart. I mean, if there's ever a soft-scented chocolate, that's you. I mean, the soft-scented chocolates. There's nothing like a nut in you at all. You're just all soft.
Well, thank you for that, Anne.
You are a soft-scented chocolate. I know, because I recognize you. So that's.
And Anne, can I have some peppermint inside my chocolate? Because I adore peppermint.
Oh, you have what you want inside your chocolate.
Thank you.
Are you already soft, so you can put anything in there that's nice and soft and tasty? Of course.
I don't know how I should take that, Anne. I don't know. You're already soft. I'm a man.
It's a good soft. Just nothing wrong with a soft-scented chocolate. It's a center.
From you, right? Anne. I'll take it coming from you. It's a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment.
It is a compliment. It is.
If another man said it though, Anne, I wouldn't take it so. I wouldn't take it so.
I'm not a male. I am queen vanilla. I'm not a gay queen. I'm a female queen. Just want to get that really clear.
Right.
So, part of your big dream, I would suggest, propose, is really do some dreaming big in that marriage of yours. And it's something to do with bringing that softness forward in ways that maybe up until now you haven't done, for whatever reason. And we've probably done about our time spin on this one. Can I leave you with a thought?
Yes, you may.
I think no more questions from the Queen. I think she's drilled you enough. You never had a drill sergeant, but you have a drill queen. This is my what does the drill sergeant do? It's kind of like gets you in line for something, doesn't it? A drill sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
But a drill queen is just getting you in line for more loving, more tenderness, more joy, more happiness, more fulfillment. How does that sound?
Wonderful, marvelous.
Marvelous. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just draw this little one to a close for now, perhaps, until the next time when we may pick it up again. And I want to hear more about the big dream. I have to say, I may pick that one up again.
That'd be great. I would love to, whatever is in me that needs to come up to the surface, because I do have a lot more in me, Anne. So
I know that. I know. We seem to have plenty to talk about so far. So I think there's probably a bit more to come.
yeah, there is.
Yeah. Okay, folks, so we're going to close this one for now. And thank you for watching. We love that you do watch. We welcome your comments, your thoughts, any experiences you've had along the lines of discussion we've had. Anything you'd like to say before we conclude?
Yes, I want to, as well, myself, I want to thank people who are tapping into our video to hear what we have to say. It's always, it's just very pleasurable to be on the end where you're giving for people to take in and absorb. So if there's anything that anyone can take from this and absorb, it's just a wonderful feeling for me and Her Highness, her queenship.
No, not Her Highness is all right, or Her Majesty.
Oh, she's always correcting me. I'm never good enough. She's always wanting more.
That is true. I do always want more, but I'm not just correcting. I'm just telling you how it is. You know?
Yes, yes.
I care about you enough to tell you what it is.
Yes, yes, you do. So thank you once again, people, and until next time, peace and God bless.
God bless you all. Bye-bye.